Hello everyone, Christina Werner here. Welcome to another live stream here at my YouTube channel. So sorry for missing last week. I was not feeling the best, a little under the weather. So I'm glad to be back creating with all of you. Tonight I'm going to be creating with my July 2025 release, and it's actually going to be left up to you what I create with because I'm going to give you some choices. We'll get to that in just a minute here. I've got a poll ready to go for those of you who are watching live. You'll be able to vote on what you'd like to see tonight, and then we will start creating from there. So welcome to everyone over in the chat. I'm so glad you're here. I did want to mention that there was a really important live that happened earlier today. In fact, let me grab a link for it because I totally spaced grabbing a link, but it's in my YouTube watch history, so it should be pretty easy for me to find it. Okay, here we go. Copy. Okay, I'm going to put it over in the chat. Basically, Giannis Makula and Denzel, they both work for Spellbinders. They did a really important live stream this morning talking about how tariffs and things like that affect our paper crafting industry, like how it affects all of us. And if there's anything we can do to alleviate some of that burden that has to be passed on to the customers. So, not political at all. We're talking policy, the crafting community. I mean, this is something that I did not know until this live stream, but years ago, Spellbinders, along with some other crafting companies, went to Washington, D.C., and they helped bring about an exemption for the crafting community for tariffs that were imposed on large die cutting machines, like large die cutting or things like that, like stuff for like printing presses, like really big stuff. Nothing that's like our tabletop little at-home crafting. So they went to their congressman and they were kind of like, hey, this tariff that is applied to these really large machinery parts is being applied to our industry, but really it doesn't apply because what we do with it is quite different. So they were able to get those exceptions put into place. And so the crafting community as a whole has benefited from that because it shows up in the bottom dollar, what you pay when you purchase product. So they're hoping to do that again and get our congressman involved. And anyway, so today's live stream was very informative. So I'm going to put this link over in the chat so you can check that out if you'd like. It's kind of a longer live stream, so it might be a good one to like put on while you're crafting or when you're doing something, just listening to hear what they're saying. I thought it was very informative. Denzel also answered questions like, why isn't the paper crafting community manufacturing dies in the United States? There are multitudes of reasons why that is not possible, why currently we are not doing that, and just, stuff that affects all of us. We don't want to think about it because we just want to be creative and whatnot, but sometimes this stuff you have to think about. So anyway, just wanted to let you guys know about that. That was a really informative live stream. I like saw all of it except for maybe the last 10 to 15 minutes. So I went back later and watched it and finished up watching it. But anyway, okay. So tonight I'm going to be playing with my July 2025 release, just like I mentioned. And you guys are going to vote on what you would like to see. So let's look at the options. Okay, so here are some options. I've got 3 options for you. In fact, I'll put them in the order they're in the poll, and I'll go ahead and put the poll up. Well, first let me say talk about what I'm going to do. What I make tonight will not look exactly like this. I thought I would just change up the colors, but it would basically be about the same. This card, the colors for these little dudes probably won't change, except maybe I might do a different cup color for the mug. But other than that, most everything will change. Like I might do a girl card instead of like a boy card for this one, whatever. Okay, so your choices are Breakfast Buddies. This is a really fun bundle where everything is stamped and nothing's like colored. It's really doable. You can make multiples. Little Star or Welcome Baby, it's the baby bundle. Or the Splatter Texture and More Thin Frames. I know a lot of you are loving the Splatter Texture stuff right now. That's one of the items in the release that is sold out right now, just the stencils. So the bundle of all 3 Splatter Texture products is also sold out because they don't have those stencils to put into the bundle, but the stamps and the background stamp are still available. So I thought I would still include it as an option. So here is the poll. I'm putting it up right now so you guys can vote. And I thought if it looks kind of close and there isn't like a clear winner, then I will take the top 2 and we'll vote again and we'll narrow it down. So those are the options for tonight. I'll just let it go for just a few minutes. Hopefully those of you who are on mobile will be able to see the poll. Sometimes, depending on what you're watching the live stream on, you won't see a poll. Unfortunately, that's just how YouTube works. If you're watching on a TV, I don't think you can vote. At least I've never seen anything like that come up. But here we are. Okay. It's looking pretty even right now. Splatter Texture and More Thin Frames is in the lead, with Little Star not far behind and Breakfast Buddies bringing up the tail. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll and we're going to vote between Little Star and Splatter. Okay, so these are going to be the options. Oh dear. Kevin can hear me talking at you guys up here. He's down in the kitchen and he is meowing up a storm. Okay, hold on. Hey, Kevin. You okay? He stopped. He stopped meowing. He's like, you're talking at me. Okay. So now we have another poll. You're going to vote between Little Star and Splatter Texture and More Thin Frames. We're just going to narrow it down to that one, and we'll see what happens. Oh no, it's getting very split down the middle as well. Splatter Texture is just a little bit higher than the other, but you know, if we're going to do this card, I might do 2 of them just because it is a much more simple card. Other than this greeting right here is, you know, takes a little bit of time to put together. Okay. Actually, this one is so easy. I wonder if, I don't know if I want to do both or not tonight. Okay, looks like Splatter Texture and More Thin Frames is winning, but only at 56%, like really, really close. So that's good. Kevin wants his mom. I just saw that comment. Yeah, it sounds like Kevin. I'm pretty sure it's Kevin, but it could be Fred. Kevin! Now he's being quiet. I don't hear him anymore. Okay. All right. So we're going to go with this card right here. We're going to do a lot of stamping and a little bit of die cutting. Kind of a lot of die cutting. We'll see. And let's get going here. Let's change up the colors. You know, I'm kind of feeling maybe like a wild berry and plum berry. I'm feeling the berries today. So let's, I'm going to switch to just the overhead here, and I'm going to go grab cardstock and ink so that we can get going here. I'm thinking wild berry cardstock stamp, and then to have the texture stamped in plum berry. I think that would look really nice. So let me grab, is this wild berry? It is. And then I've already got my gold for the die cutting. So here we go. I've got my wild berry cardstock, my plum berry ink. Basically, I just want like a lighter color and then a darker color. Okay. Back to sitting here so I can do this. All right, so I'm going to cut this down to 5x7. I think that's actually a half sheet. So I've got to cut that down. Just got to get up from my station again. Be back in a moment. It's a 5x7 card. So, but you could also do this with a, you know, A2. So all of the products that we were choosing from are listed down below in the video description or in the supply list that you guys can check out. Okay. All right. So If you notice in the finished card, we have the splatter texture going all the way around. So the way we're going to achieve that is using the really large border stamp from the splatter texture stamps. It's this long border stamp right here. It's the full length of the stamp set. It's like 7 3/4. I just got a paper cut on my hand. That really hurt. Ow. It's like right by my nail. Ow. I need a Band-Aid. Okay, so here are the splatter texture stamps. And I think it would be, let's see, should we try to do it in a Misty? I always did it. I did this one before in my stamp wheel, but let's try it in a Misty because we might have to get creative because we're going to have to turn it one direction. So, okay. La, la, la. All right. I'm just going to put my cardstock right there. And basically, I'm just going to move this border around all 4 sides of my card. I'm going to have it coming off, I don't know, almost about a 1/2 inch. It's going to just come off the edge. All right, so I'm going in with Plumberry. And unfortunately, Plumberry will stain my clear grip mat that's in my Misty. But you know what? That just means it's well loved, right? All right, I'm going to walk my fingertips down this because it's very large. There we go. So now we just have that edge, right? So I'll lift this up. I'm going to take a baby wipe. I believe this is Plumberry that stained before. So now we're going to get the stain on this side. Okay. I'm also just going to wipe the stamp itself because I'm going to have to move it around. Hey, Molly. Hey, Sylvia. My Alabama contingency is here. Hey, Dana. Dana just popped in too. Or maybe you've been here a bit, but this is the first time I've looked up and seen your comment. Hello. All right. I guess I could just leave that one right there and we're just going to flip it. Let's do that because it'll get the same edge. I should have just left it. Okay. Just to double check. Yep, that's the right spot. And then we're going to have to get creative to do the short end because it's 7 inches, like the length of this one side. Okay, just walking my fingertips over that. Lovely. I'll take this out. Clean that up. Going through a few baby wipes because it's a lot of cleaning up. Okay. Okay, oh yeah, my little paper cut. In fact, it almost looks like it's a hangnail, but I did not have a hangnail there before. Pretty sure it's a paper cut. It is really stinging. I'm like, ow, 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 ow. Okay, so we're gonna have to get creative. In fact, maybe I should have just left it there and I could have just put it in like this. That's not a bad idea. Should have just left it in the same spot. Let's just put it back. Actually, I don't want it. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. I was worried I wouldn't be able to open my Misty. There we go. Okay, I guess that stain right there is kind of a good thing because it's showing me where to line it up. And then we'll just go like this and stamp. Let's just double check to make sure that'll work. That should be fine. And I don't even have to ink up the full length of the border stamp this time because we're only doing that 5-inch edge. Lovely. In fact, it's a little bit over more this time. So we're getting a little bit more of that dark edge, which I don't mind at all. Pulling it over a little further this time so it won't be quite as dark. You can really control how much of the gradient you get just by where you position it. All right. Okay, so do you guys notice how there's more dark on the two short ends versus the long end? That's sort of bugging me. So let's do some more stamping here. I might have to slide my stamp over a little. I think I will. Because, oh my word, I am getting a mess. Plumberry is such a dark, juicy ink. Oh my word. I'm really going to have to clean my Misty after I'm done here. Okay. I'm going to move this over, and I want to get more of a dark edge. So we'll just do that. Okay. And we'll stamp again. Because why not? We want the darker edge. I think this will do it for sure because it's like doubling up on it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's dramatic. You know what this would look really good? And would be like Halloween. Like a purple cardstock with like a really dark purple or even black. Ooh. Wouldn't that look good? All right, trying to get this position just right. There we go. All right, let's ink this up again. Yes, I have inky fingers. I don't like it. It's really bugging me. Oh, so much better. I love that. That dark edge. That's so pretty. You could even make it more dramatic by ink blending in on the edges. I guess we could do a little bit of that. I have thoroughly stained my grip mat that's inside my Misty. I have to laugh though because at C9 Summer Camp, Lila McGuire, Jennifer's daughter, used my Misty, and that's where these stains came from, right here. And I was teasing her that she had ruined my Misty. Teasing Jennifer more than Lila, actually. And then, what do you know? A week later, in the mail comes a new grip mat from Waffle Flower. Jennifer felt so bad. I'm like, I was joking. Like, I'm inking it up right now anyway, right? Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm actually going to use some Ultra Clean stamp cleaner from Simus Stamp. And I'm going to spray my stamp, absorb the Misty. This stuff's really oily. Ugh, fumes are toxic. But sometimes, look at that. It took off a lot of pink. Sometimes it'll take away quite a bit of the stain that's on your stamp. And it also will clean up the door of your Misty really well. Look how much red came off on that. Like there's white. And then it still picks up all of that pink. It's crazy. So I like to do that. And then I might even grab a scrubber. Because sometimes that really cleans up your stamp even more. Unfortunately, because this stuff is so oily and greasy, you do have to do a little bit of cleanup after. You know, just like I'm getting my glass mat here, which is actually picking up quite a bit of other junk. Look at that. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, how dirty was my Misty door? Okay. Sorry to do all this like maintenance on camera live with you all, but it needed to happen apparently. Okay. I need some bubblegum spray. What is bubblegum spray? Is that another stamp cleaner? Okay. Let's stamp back together. Put my Misty away. Make sure my surface is clean. And oh my gosh, I might need to go wash my hands. That's okay. I'm going to refrain. But I'm going to take a 5x7 card base that's already folded, ready to go. And we're just going to put this right on top. Let's make sure it's the right size. That looks great. And I'll adhere this down. I saw someone comment, what are you doing to your hair these days? Okay, today's experiment, half of the fun of doing my hair with its natural texture these days is trying out new products and figuring out what works best. I know that InnerSense products are great, and that's what I've been using. But today, well, I think a couple of weeks ago, I was experimenting, and I tried the Ouai, O-U-A-I, Ouai, I think that's how you say it, air dry foam. And it was great, and it dries my hair. My hair dries lots faster than when I use a gel. It doesn't hold as well. So I think I'll only use it when I know I'm going to wash my hair the next day, because I don't need it to, last. Okay, so here's the front of our card. As a reminder, this is where we're headed. So we're going to do a bunch of die cutting now. Let me grab my dies. So that greeting is from this die set, More Thin Frames, A2 and A7. And it is like the outer frames I've already taken off and I'm storing them on other sheets. Like here's the A7. I have this frame is the one that goes right there, but I'm storing it on my sheet with the other thin frames for A7, just so I have them all together in one place. So I actually need that one that I just took off. I need that die. And then we're going to need this one. And I have found, I think in my last live, I also used this die, but I had pre-cut everything. But I discovered when I was playing with this die, when I was making cards for the release, I realized that using a double-sided adhesive sheet on the back of the cardstock as I was cutting it was the way to go. It made it so much easier to adhere everything together. So I just have this like big pack of this, and I actually have a bunch of white cardstock that already has the adhesive. Well, not these two, but like this already has the adhesive on the back. So I'm going to use that to cut all of my pieces. And I think I'll actually need, well, no, I might be able to do both of these this way. But for those of you who missed that live from a couple of weeks ago, I kind of came up with a method that makes it super fast to use these die cuts that already have the adhesive on the back. So where did my die cutting sandwich go? I think I set it aside with the rest of the products. Here we go. All right, so let's let's cut this out 3 times out of the white. Okay, and I also need some, like a little dish to save all my pieces. So there we go, especially because this, it tends to want to lose the dots on the top of the eye. Oh no, I'm losing the die cut. Come out. There we go. Did I just lose both of the eye dots? No, just one, but it's on my nail. That's hilarious. Okay, so I'm going to do kind of like what I did last time. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this directly down onto the card front. Technically, I guess I should have cut my frame first, but that's okay. We have this as kind of like a guide for where to place things, so it should be fine. All right, so in order to make this a little bit easier on ourselves, what you do is you find, where's some scratch paper? This will work. Go like this, and then you use a piercer tool, and everywhere where I know it's not the actual word itself, I just press down with this little pick, and then I can pull up the die and it leaves all those pieces behind. Pull up the die. Oh no, the greeting itself wants to stick. No, 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 we don't want that. No, 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 no. My method is backfiring. I must have pressed down the wrong area. Oh no, there we go. Now it's released. Okay. All right. I've got a couple little pieces that didn't stick, but that's okay. I could fix it right now. This one is all bent out of shape. So I think I'm actually just going to set it aside, and we'll get one that's not as bent out of shape to go directly down onto the card. Okay. So let's cut another one. I need to move my microphone up. Sorry, y'all. Keeps like being hit by the die cut plates. Okay. Will this fit? Ooh, it's going to be close if it does. Oh, that is so close, but I think it will fit. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Oh, yay, living the meow. Andrea, I hope you love it. Okay. Oh, and I have to remember that little top of the eye is still there. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to pull everything. And now I'm going to come to this. Well, first I can take this off because that's not needed. And then I only press down. It's kind of like floating on top right now. And then I just press down the areas that I know are not the actual die cut itself. I'm hoping I didn't get any that I wasn't supposed to this time. Okay, and then I can just pull up Oh, now is it doing it again? Oh no, perfect. Love that. See, that's what we wanted to happen. Did leave that little eye, the dot of the eye behind, but that's okay. So now I can release this and it won't get all warped because I'm not handling it as much. And it'll be more true to its original shape, which is what I want. Okay. All right, so let's eyeball this and make sure that we're getting it in the right spot. About right there. Looks good. So I'll press that down. Then I can take the one that I've already cut and just kind of go like word by word and get it adhered down. Sometimes using tweezers helps because you can really like force it to go into a certain spot. Once I have it in the right spot, I'm really going to press it down. All right, so now I'm going to go to the word for. And also up here, just trying to get it lined up. So even though that die cut got really warped when I was pulling it out of the die, it kind of got stretched a little bit, but just waiting and adhering it as the second layer, not the first layer, can really help. Can really help keep it shape. All right, I'm going to put a paperweight on top. We're going to cut one more out of white, and then I'm going to cut it out of gold for the top layer. Okay. Just because I'm curious, I'm going to try die cutting it like this time. With it cutting into the plate, not the magnetic plate. Yes, Carol. See how there's this Altenew adhesive on the back? That's what is on the cardstock already. It's a double-sided adhesive. So now I'm going to take my little piece of scratch paper that I've been using. And let's see, both of the dots on the eye are there, so that's good. And what I'm going to do is I'm just using my pokey tool. I'm just pressing like the interiors of the letters, like the loops on the F, things like that, because those are the pieces that are going to be stuck in the die cut, like the interiors. Just going through and making sure I got them all. Okay, then I can lift up. And it looks like I didn't get a couple. We have this one right here and these two. Do you see how they're still in there? So I'll just press those down, lift up, and I think we're good. All right, so now I can release this from the die itself. And then I can worry about the eyes, the dots on the eyes. All right, I'm going to do exactly what I did before and kind of start from the bottom. And I'm starting down here in this corner, getting that lined up. I love how like no mess this application method is, especially for really large, intricate die cuts like this. It makes it so much easier, I'm telling you. As much as I hate to have to use large pieces of double-sided adhesive, it makes it so much easier. Okay, so I think we've got some oh, we don't have any. Oh, yes, right here. The little dot on the eye needs to come out right here. And I can just put it right here. There we go. And then, let's see. Can I just put that down onto it? Maybe, sort of. Yeah, that worked. Really, for the dot of the eye, it's such a small little thing. But I just want to make sure that it's there. All right, I'm gonna put that right there, and then I can just press on the die right there. Lovely. And then I have no idea where the other ones ended up. It's not on that. It's not on that. You know what? It might just need just gold on top and we'll call it a day. Okay, so I need to grab a little bit of gold. So I have my matte gold cardstock here. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. And this piece looks good. I'm just going to put some of this double-sided adhesive on the back. In fact, I don't need a full sheet, but I do need quite a bit. So maybe we'll just cut this in half. I think Sika saw me do this last time, maybe. Molly, I'm not sure. Okay. Put this right up here in the top corner of this gold. And I'm going to cut around it just so I don't accidentally get an area that doesn't have adhesive on it. Because that sounds like something I would do when I'm live. Okay, and that'll go in like that. And I've started die cutting all of my gold using the Gina K Intricate because I feel like I have a little more precision on the amount of, where'd my Intricate go? Oh, there it is. Pressure. Oh my word, it's so heavy. Okay. So we're going to use that today. All right. So, and I forgot, I've got to adjust it. What is it on? Sorry, back up. Okay, I believe, okay, yeah, so it's on die cut, and then I'm going to do it probably at like a 1. Okay, because I'm hoping that will make it so I don't have too much pressure. Okay. Because too much pressure will cause it to have those weird nubs on the gold, which is really annoying. So I'm just, you know, trying to avoid that. All right, so here's that. There's that. We'll roll that through. All right, let's see how that worked. Didn't cut all the way through to the adhesive, but it looks like it did cut through the gold. So we love that for us. Trying to pick it up very carefully. Okay. Lovely. Set this aside. And the plates. All right, so back to, oh, see, this is why we don't like to do it this way. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull this piece out first. All right, in fact, you know what? I think I want to get the dots on the eye taken care of really quick. So I'm just going to put those out onto my finger, just like that. And we'll get those on the card first. Come on, little eye dot. I believe it's called a tittle, which I think is the funniest word. Okay, so we have that gold. And now I'll come back to my little piece of scratch paper, put that right on top. And then I'm punching out those little interior pieces again. And then just lifting up. Looks like I still have one there. Doesn't want to come out. Oh, it's because it's like it's still stuck. Okay, there we go. The things we do for intricate die cuts, right? Just punching this out. Okay. I think I have most all of it. There we go. Then I'll just, oh my word, that does not want to stay away from me. Okay. Starting from this bottom left corner again, just getting everything lined up. And the gold cardstock tends to keep its shape a little bit more than the white. So I'm not having to manipulate the shape of it very much like I did with the white. It just kind of just holds. And you notice I don't have any of those weird nubbies on the gold. And that's why I use the Intricate machine for it. Okay, like look how nice that looks. I love it so much. Okay. The E has a little bit of adhesive in there. Okay, so now I'm going to put that on top and we're going to cut out a frame to go on the outer edge of the card. So got my More Thin Frames A7 die. And I'm not going to worry about using the Intricate for this. I'm just going to go ahead and roll it on through my Empress machine just because it's right here and ready to go. And I've also noticed when it comes to these frames, it really, you get a better result and you'll make sure you get a really good cut if you put it at an angle on your cutting plates. See how it's at an angle? It's all, it's just like angled off. You're going to get a better result. Otherwise, if you put it through, straight through, sometimes I don't get a complete cut. I also put a clean plate on the top so that that interior piece that's cut out, it won't have any weird marks on it. Oh my word, this is hilarious. Do you see that there's like a little Fred fur? And it left a little mark on the gold. That's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to save that. And I'm going to use this for adhering that in the middle. But we also need a heart. Remember this heart up here? That little heart? That heart is from my Essentials dies. It's this one right here. Boop. So I'm just going to take a little bit of gold. That fit right there. Oh, that's perfect. And I'll just run this through to get my little heart. And hopefully we'll have all of our pieces. Lovely. All right, so here's the little gold heart. I'll just put this back on my magnetic board for storage. And we're done with the die cutting for today. I can put that aside. Okay, so when it comes to adhering this outer frame, I find it easier to use a little bit of temporary adhesive, put this one on, and then glue around it. So I'm going to grab some, what is this? Oh, actually, we'll do this. This is Easy Dots from Scrapbook Adhesives. I'm just going to put a little bit in those spots just so it holds it in place. And then I'll go around the outer edge with just a little bit of glue. So I'm just doing like a really thin line of glue around that outer edge. And by using the interior piece as a guide, I'll be able to adhere it without too much trouble. Because it's a really it's so thin, it's kind of flimsy. It can really kind of move around on its own, like it's hard to really get it in place. I'm kind of like sliding it with my fingernails. And once you kind of have it in the right spot, then you can kind of like peel it back and then lift. Ta-da! Have a little bit of that adhesive, the little removable dots hanging out, but I can just ball that up with my fingertips. Now I have my little frame. And then this is going to go back into my storage pocket with all my little pieces of gold cardstock. All right, we've got this little guy left. He's going to go right there. He just needs to be popped up on some foam adhesive. So I'm grabbing some of this. These are narrow strips from scrapbook.com. All right, and I'll just cut. You could also just use foam squares or something like that, but I find it's just as fast just to grab 3 of the narrow strips and not separate them, just use them together. Okay. And then I can just come in right here. Lovely. All right, so now we have both cards. That worked out so well. It was so fast and easy. I'm going to go ahead and put, let's see, put some of this stuff away so I don't lose any of it. I need to put this back on the backing sheet. I need to do like a really good like just die and stamp storage session where I print out a bunch of my little labels for everything and just start putting things in pockets because I have quite a few I need to do now. So this goes back on my little storage sheet. Okay. Go up there. And my little cat dish goes over there. All right. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick little spiel for those watching the edited replay, and then I'll come back and we'll chat for a little bit because this was really fast. It was under an hour. Craziness. Okay. So here is the finished card for today. You can see how quickly that worked out. This would actually be a really good card to recreate like in multiples with a bunch of different colors and just do a bunch, and you could even change up what greeting you use. I think that would be really fun. Just because once you have that large border die on your MISTI door, you don't have to move it. You could just do a bunch of cards all at the same time. I think it would go really quick. So on this card, it was Juniper cardstock with Midnight ink. And over here today, I used Wildberry cardstock with Plumberry ink. Hope you guys enjoyed the color change and changing that up a little bit. I think it looks really great. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully I'll be back this week with an edited video. I've got a couple of videos in the can, as they say, ready to just edit to share with you. So I'll hopefully have time to do that this week. I don't know, I've got a really busy design week. I've got a design deadline, so I might not, but I'm really hoping I will. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Okay, so now we're back, and I'm continuing cleaning up a little bit, just because it was driving me crazy. Okay, quick question. How did I do the speckled edging? From Rosie. I used, where did it go? I used this stamp set, Splatter Texture Stamps. It actually comes, well, the bundle sold out right now at Concord at Night. You might be able to find it at other retailers. But the bundle actually includes 4 products. You have the 6x8 stamp set. Hold on, let me get this in its packaging again, just so it will stay together. Okay, so you have the 6x8 stamp set, Splatter Texture. Then there is a Splatter Texture background stamp, which this would be another way to get kind of like that gradient. And then we have the Splatter Texture stencils. So there's 3 products. I think I said 4, but there's 3. The Splatter Texture stencils, which there's a stencil that kind of has the splatter kind of more dispersed, and then there's one where it's a little bit bigger. So there's 2 stencils in that. The stencils are sold out, so that makes the whole bundle sold out, but these 2 stamps are still available over at concordatnights.com. But yeah. Cheryl's asking, what season am I designing now? I just finished designing, well, not just, like a few weeks ago, kind of Christmas stuff. So, but I've still got one more Christmas deadline. So I'm currently designing the class kit for the OCC holiday class. Ta-da! Okay. How are the hands? Are they inky? Well, I've got little die cut pieces stuck to them. They're a little inky. It's mostly just one finger. Okay. Carol, wait, what? It's a stamp? It is. It's a stamp. Seriously, I think these are the most underrated. This is the most underrated stamp set. And I hope you guys see me use it a lot more over the next little bit, because these individual like little ones. You can have a bunch of like a different look for the splatter. I really loved the idea of having a border, so I made sure to do that. I just think it's going to be so versatile. Yeah. Carrie's saying, would you please come out with a bundle of various sentiments in the font of your handwriting? Just in my handwriting. Maybe. I'm not going to say never. It's pretty time intensive to have it be all handwriting. I tend to like to do just like larger sentiments and then pair that with a regular font, but never say never. Let's see. Andrea, where's the fun in stamping splatter though? There's no mess. That's the joy. There's no mess. Says the person who does not like ink on her hands. I'm surprised it took me this long to come up with this idea for splatter stamps and stuff. Although I think it wasn't necessarily me. I think someone in a chat said, I need some splatter stamps. I'm pretty sure someone requested that. The speckles are sold out right now. I shouldn't have waited. Wait, are the stamps sold out? I swear they were there earlier today. I'm going to look right now. Okay, the bundle is sold out. The 6x8 stamp set is still available, as well as the background. It's just the stencils that are sold out. That's what makes the bundle sold out, because they don't have any of the stencils to put into the bundle. But the stamp sets are still available over at concordedninth.com. Nancy says, I can see a gold Christmas tree in the middle of the card. Oh, like that little, it kind of makes that shape. I could see that. Yeah. Oh, Erica. I finally invested in Dazzle-Dry. Girl, you were not kidding. I'm in love with it. Isn't it great? Okay, and then I tried an experiment on, when did I paint my nails? Was it Saturday night? Yeah, Saturday night. I didn't use Transform. I normally do. Instead, I did 3 coats of the color, and then I actually changed up my top coat. Some people in the Dazzle-Dry Facebook group really love the top coat from, oh my word, what is it from? Is it KB Shimmer? Is that what it is? I think it might be. Their top coat does not have nitrocellulose, which is what is the ingredient in most nail polishes that will stain your nails yellow. Dazzle-Dry does not have that chemical either, which is why I always want to use Dazzle-Dry. But this other one is thicker, and it doesn't dry as quickly, but it still holds up really well. So I did 2 top coats of that. And it's held up really well. I mean, granted, it's only day 3, but yeah. Okay. Oh no, Gina, I remember this. Gina was telling us this at our member Zoom call on Saturday. If I had used that stamp Saturday, I wouldn't have splattered white paint all over my keyboard and monitor and desk and lamp. And yes, she told us all about the experience. Too funny. Rosie says, it doesn't exactly look very impressive as a stamp set, but seeing it in use, it's clearly a winner. When that comes back in stock, I'm buying it for sure. It's in stock. I promise. It's in stock. Okay. Oh, Marianne says, I ordered the splatter stamps. Yay! I hope you guys love it. I think it's going to be one of those staples. Like, every month when I come up with my card designs for the releases, I do a lot of digital mock-ups on my computer because, I've designed the stamps and that's where I have the product on my computer. So when I start doing all these digital mock-ups, there's a few products that I keep on my artboard at all times to pull from. I keep my essentials dies, like where I got this heart today, my thin frames and more thin frames now. So all of the thin frames. I've also been keeping my Christina's Finishing Touches, stamps, dies, and stencils. And then I've also been keeping on my artboard the splatter texture stamps. So like those products are the ones that I constantly pull from. And it's just been a lot of fun. I like having kind of like that kind of bundle of most used products. It's fun. Oh, yes, Rosie, you see my vision. I'm a perfectionist, so I love that the random splatter is actually something I can now control. Yes, absolutely. And it's really fun with the stencils, which sadly are sold out right now, but with the stencils, because you can use like embossing paste, or you could like, use ink over the top with it, like pigment ink. It's fun. Okay. Those stamps would look great in holiday cards. Yes, I agree. Just adding texture. When and where is your next class? The next class that I'll be teaching is the OCC holiday class, which will be sometime in November. We haven't picked dates, but I'm assuming it will probably be around the same time as what we had last year, so maybe like the week before Thanksgiving, but we'll see. Norma says, which die set did I use? I used for the greeting as well as the frame. I used the more thin frames, A2 and A7 dies. This is just the A7 frame that's in the set. This greeting comes in the set as well. So it's like, where did I put that? I just had it out here. Where is it? This is what the die set looks like. I just store the frames with their other thin frames sets, but it comes with these two greetings in it. So the thankful for your friendship and you were the best. Or come on it, just because I only needed the two frames. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put in some greetings because I only need the two frames. So that's what they come from. And then the heart itself is from my Essentials dies. So this is the actual Essentials die set. Yeah, I pull the hearts and probably these two, like this is an A2 card and then this is an A7 card. Those are probably the dies that I use the most from this die set. I haven't really used the thanks very much. I have used the hello though. I have used that quite a bit. Okay. Oh, Carrie's asking about OCCs coming up. As far as we know, just the holiday one so far. But we need to, I know Gina K wants to do one with us, which I think would be phenomenal. Gina K is such a good teacher. So we need to talk with her because maybe there's an opportunity to have a Gina K class soon. That would be amazing. So if any of you know Gina, put a little bug in her ear. I should text her and be like, let's talk. Let's get this going. Okay. Oh, emailer says they just ordered the splatter texture bundle from Simon. Okay, so is it sold out at Simon or do they have it? Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Gina says that she just ordered the finishing touches stencils. They were out of stock for so long. Yes, I'm glad they're back. Yes. Erica says, I'm still using the stitching frame stencils like crazy. Such a staple. Love it even more than I thought I would. Paste, inks, everything. I'd love to hear that. I'm so excited. I'm glad you love it. Let's see here. Oh, Betsy, I'm honored. Betsy says, I am collecting some of your products in my frequently used basic spot. I love that. Love it. Okay. I am scrolling through quite a few questions about OCC class, but I hope I've answered that. Let's see here. Just scrolling through. I'm almost caught up to the chat. F. Joe Clemens is asking, I would like to know what pockets and magnets you use and size. Okay, so I can tell you, well, for my most used die sets, I have started using the really sturdy magnet boards from Stamp and Storage. So I have two sizes. I don't even know what size this is. Hold on. Let me zoom out so you can see how large this is. That's the size in comparison to a 5x7 card. So this is actually, 9.5 by 6 3/4. So I got that size. And then I also got this size, which is a little bit smaller. And it is 6 by 6 3/4. So it's actually the same width as this is right here, but I store them standing up so they're a little bit taller. But I basically got just a bunch of both of these sizes. And then for my most used dies, I put them on an appropriately sized magnet card. So I actually have, so I've got my A7 thin frames. I put my Gift Bows dies and Finishing Touches dies on the same board since they're really long. So they needed to be on the larger board. But, you know, I thought I would just store them together. Got that. And then I've got my A2 thin frames, which technically could fit on this one, on the smaller magnet board. But I liked having it the same size as the A7. And then I've just got a bunch of these small ones, like Nesting Rectangle Frames and Waffle Flower, Simon Nested Stars, Circle Thin Frames, Nesting Squares, Nested Hearts. Like all of my most used, like kind of like basics, I have those over in a little bin that's right next to me as I craft. As far as storage pockets, the ones that I use the most, let me see if I have one. Oh, I have one right here. Okay, so this is the size that I use the most for like large bundles that have dies and stencils and stamps. This is actually a storage pocket from Simon Says Stamp. I think it's just their like XL storage pockets, I think is what they call them. They are 6 3/4 by 9.5. It's practically this. Is it the same size as this? It might be. Oh my word. It's the same size. It's the same size as the large boards from Stamp & Storage. That's convenient. So that's what I use for my big stamp sets and also my big stencils. The big 6 by 9 stencils will fit in these pockets. So that's what I use. Hope that helps. And I just cut out like some inexpensive white cardstock, like not nice cardstock. You could even just use paper. It's just to give it a backer of some sort. And I put that inside. Okay. Oh, good. Andrea has a link for the splatter bundle, which is in stock at Simon. That's great. Love it. Oh, the Stamp & Storage magnet sheets are on sale. Love. We love that. The back of the magnet board looks like this. It's just like a little texture. Like it's, well, my camera doesn't like that. It's just like neutral little hatch marks. Gina, I don't know if Sika has her own spreadsheet system or not. I don't know. I want to say I've heard her say in the past she just kind of remembers what she has, but I could be totally wrong. Okay, let's see. Betsy's thinking maybe she does. I don't know. We'll have to ask Sika next time she's in the chat. Okay. Any other questions, or I think we'll wrap it up. Here are the cards, the original card, and then the one I made tonight. Love it. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining me tonight, having a little bit of fun with my July 2025 release. Hopefully, in fact, next week, maybe we'll do the baby one. Maybe we'll do the baby one and just play along with what's going on with my release or whatever. So something to keep in mind. Or maybe I'll break it out and I'll do something completely different. Who knows? Who knows? Thanks so much for watching tonight. I will see you all in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.